again. In January of 2013, I ran my first South to North exchange. We had 6 students, 3 from Ecuador and 3 from Nicaragua. And for a whole week I played soccer mom, driving around our visiting students from school to school. We started school gardens together and cooked a potluck feast in my parents' kitchen with more than 20 students from the surrounding local high schools. Over the course of that week, we became a little family, bouncing around in my mom's SUV. I remember saying goodbye at the airport, Carla from Bahia and Hixa from Chacra Seca crying in each other's arms. Saying goodbye was so final, so permanent. They knew they would never see each other again. They promised they would keep in touch. Hixa and Raquel from Chacra Seca said they would take a bus for 30 minutes to get internet access to chat on Facebook once in a while. I think at the time, I thought those promises were like the ones I made at the end of summer camp, probably unlikely to happen. But for the next few years, every time I would travel to Nicaragua or Ecuador, I would visit the homes of those students. They would always ask about each other and their host families here in California. One year they learned I was leading staff training in both locations. And had me carry cards and gifts back and forth between them. This is the strength of the GSE community, a lifelong bond between young people from around the world. On April 16th, when the 7.8 earthquake hit 90 miles north of our community in Ecuador, Bahia de Caracas, I was reminded of the power of community once again. My heartbreak over hearing that 90% of the buildings in Bahia were tagged for demolition was matched with an equal level of inspiration as I watched GSE high school students around the Bay Area mobilize, immediately reaching out to ask what they could do to help their friends in Ecuador. Over a week after the earthquake, I showed up to Redwood High School to meet with students who were interested in fundraising for relief efforts. I expected to walk into the room and just find a few students. Instead, what I found was a room filled with more than 45. They have since raised almost $4,000 for relief efforts. Yeah. For most of the U.S., the earthquake was a fleeting newsfeed headline, one that disappeared altogether after Prince passed away. Just another sad story of a people and a place so very far away. But for GSE students here, the earthquake rocked them too, because they are truly global citizens, connected to international peers by a unique bond and community. I don't believe it's hard to be a global citizen, but it is hard to become one. It is hard to get people in this day and age, especially young people, to care and connect in deep and lasting ways. At GSE, we have figured out how to engage students in a program that opens their eyes and raises their consciousness by creating opportunities for young people to work together on environmental projects, both locally and internationally, and by taking their cell phones away. We allow people to just be people, to realize they are more alike than different. Language and cultural differences can help break down barriers where at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is if you're nice, kind, and helpful. What happens when these young people are together is magic and natural at the same time. They bond. They become a community. And a community takes care of its own. Whether they are next door or across the world, the bond remains. We have been asked if we're going to stay working in Ecuador after the earthquake, since the infrastructure has been so destroyed, it might not be as easy to host exchanges there anymore. Maybe that's a legitimate question for another organization, one that comes and goes from place to place. But that isn't what GSC is all about. Bahia de Caracas isn't some dot on an organizational map of where we work, and neither is Marin. Bahia and Marin are our home, our community, and they are each more powerful and sustainable because of their connection to one another. Our commitment to supporting sustainable rebuilding efforts in Bahia doesn't mean we have become a relief organization. What it means is that when we say we're developing community leaders, we are. And we support those community leaders, those young people, through whatever challenges they and their community face. GSC is a space, a platform, a catalyst, a community for young people to grow, create, and lead. In Marin, we're in Terra Linda, San Rafael, Drake, and Redwood at least one day a week, supporting students to address their local environmental challenges. A community takes care of its own. It has been incredible to watch the way GSC has grown and developed in Marin, thanks to so many passionate change makers. Nothing has made me feel more lucky or more proud to lead GSC at this time than the experience of working alongside so many of you. And now I stand before you to ask for your support and partnership. Later this evening, we will have our Fund a Need program. Your contributions here tonight will allow us to deepen our impact at your students' school and provide support for our students here and abroad. Young leaders like Luis, a student in Bahia who lost his entire home, who's now taking GSC's bamboo building workshops in order to help his family sustainably rebuild his life. Natural disasters are a sure thing in this world. What isn't a sure thing, but needs to be, is a global community committed to supporting one another. A global community committed to the sustainability of our planet. With your support, we can provide students with a life-changing experience, and they will build this community as a result. Thank you.